Second little week of Daima, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? How do you feel about it? I'm excited to continue discussing this series, despite many people not being interested in it. Or who dare to say that? This is not Dragon Ball. It contains no violence, gore, or graphic content. Goku isn't sending anyone to the sun, which goes against the Dragon Ball spirit. Although, let's be realistic, that's right, is not. Majority of people who say this kind of stuff are either being ironic, or they've never seen Dragon Ball in their life. Or they have a Mandela effect, / lobotomization / brainwashing. Because of the OVAs that Toei made. In fact, I saw a tweet the other day, so I remember now. Someone expressed their love for Goku, posting pictures and discussing the character from the OVAs and Grand Tour series of the Dragon Ball franchise. And it's like, okay, who's to say that Goku doesn't exist? I mean, well, if he exists, it's official, but it's not canonical. The canonical Goku is from the original Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and Daima. As I mentioned in the previous video, I completely understand any skepticism surrounding this franchise. Nonetheless, there are intriguing aspects to it. I myself was very skeptical. You know that I don't hide that. When the series was announced, I was disappointed like everyone else because I expected something different. I've repeated this countless times and will continue to do so. So that later they don't tell me, no, dude, are you jumping on the bandwagon? And now, I don't know what, I don't know how many. Hypocrite? No, me, hypocrisy, no. People change their minds, and obviously Toriyama's thing, as I said, well, it influences. And even though at first it seemed like a bit of an 10 idea to me, after having seen Sandland after many things, I understood that maybe this is partly the path. People may be disappointed because they expected a direct Super O continuation, or they may not find the adventure theme appealing. However, here I will be, your ogre, Dragon Ball inspector, and trusted Namekian killer, to review this series weekly, so let's continue with this thing. Previously on Dragon Ball, Cat Animation Company gave us a beautiful sequence with a lot of... This text introduces Goma and Dagesu, villains descended from the demonic kingdom, who learned about the Dragon Balls on Earth. It also mentions recreations of Dragon Ball Z anime scenes, because in their world there are Dragon Balls, but they are protected by guardians, with whom it seems it's better not to mess with. So they decided to travel to Earth to turn all the Z fighters into children, and those who are already children into babies. What will our protagonists do in response to this predicament? Let's find out in a new episode of Dragon Ball Daima. Today we present Kidnap the Baby. After Goma made his wish to turn the warriors into children, Shenlong leaves, to which Goma stays like, hey, what about my 2 remaining wishes? It's at this point that Shenlong discloses something rather intriguing, which until now I had absolutely no clue about. No, the truth is that it's something totally new, and it turns out that the dragon is like any telecommunications company. It only gives you the best promotions if you are a frequent customer. If not, it gives you pure shit, fucking shit. So the dragon withdraws and leaves the villain all hard. Meanwhile, on the other hand, our Z warriors wake up with their new bodies. And I find it quite funny that Goku and Vegeta fall from the sky where they were training, and neither of them has noticed their new appearance. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we see Krillin with white eyes, as they were always the color of his skin before. I don't know, cool detail. And there we are, shown several characters turned into children. Excuse me, Mr. Beals. There, I clearly saw that android number 18 also turned into a girl. How is that even possible? She is an android? Is it impossible for a robot to have had a childhood? And until when? It should be made clear that androids 17 and 18 are not androids. They are cyborgs. They have a human base. Their names in life were Lapis and Lazuli. Okay, they are humans. They are not robots. They are cyborgs. People who have had, well, I don't know, cybernetic enhancements and such, but they are humans, so yes, they can turn into children. If not, how the hell? Do you think she got pregnant from the damn nonsense? But I am. I get that many of you already know this, but I don't. I understand the confusion, but it also makes me angry. And yes, the real names of the androids? Well, I understand that people don't know it. But the fact that at this point there are people who call themselves Dragon Ball fans and don't know about the androids? It's intriguing that 17 and 18 are cyborgs. I emphasize that only 17 and 18 are because 16 and 19 were robots, but 20, who was also a cyborg, wasn't he? Exactly, because he put his brain in, I don't know. No, it doesn't matter. That's more complex, but he also had a human base, at least his brain. Goku and Vegeta stare at each other and realize that they are now small. Oh no, Bulma, help. I don't want to be a Funko Pop. And they're the opening sounds, which honestly to me, well, I think it's okay. It's pretty good. It's not outstanding. I think it's below the level. Of the franchise's openings, both Kai and Z, like original Dragon Ball Grand Tour Super, I think they have much more memorable and powerful openings. In fact, in Super, there are even endings as they can be. 70-centimeter window, which by itself I think is much better than this opening. It's okay, not terrible, and doesn't make me want to rip my ears off. However, I expected something a bit more legendary, but that completely depends on personal preference. That said, the computer graphics Shenlong Ascending seemed a bit XD, but the animation is great, and the final Kamehameha is very cool. And well, Oma gets pretty angry. Because if I had known from the beginning that I was only going to be able to make one wish, maybe the best idea would have been to ask for the evil third eye. But at least the other wish I wanted worked. Behind him are Mr. Popo holding baby Dende, and Mr. Popo has small horns. Fascinating. The truth is, this is very cool because Mr. Popo is a very old character who has been around for many years since his introduction in the manga. I'm not sure exactly how long, perhaps 35 or 36 years. It's been many years. And that after so much time, they have given such an important fact about this character as his demonic origin. I find it at least interesting and crazy. Moreover, Goma's appearance alone identified him as a fan of the cut points, and he proceeded to take the base point. If they eliminate him with a hydrogen bomb, the Earth will be destroyed. So it's better to remove him. Long gone are those days when Mr. Popo was the pinnacle of power in Dragon Ball. I still remember the episode where Goku went up to Kami-sama's temple and Mr. Popo hit him so hard that he almost disintegrated. Returning now to the Z Gang, the reactions to the sudden transformation are quite varied. I don't get why the children-turned babies had their clothes changed, but the adults-turned children didn't. Goten and Trunks can communicate telepathically as babies, possibly due to their close bond. Additionally, it was an excellent choice, putting this scene of Bulma looking at herself in the mirror and feeling happy about looking younger. Coming from the woman who used the Dragon Balls to rejuvenate herself, it's expected. Also, it's a curse to see young Master Roshi. The good thing is, as we saw in the previous episode, Supreme Kaioshin was at Trunks' birthday party. Goku and Piccolo decide to go to Kami-sama's temple to investigate what happened, a topic heavily discussed when the first episode aired. But I think they should start questioning whether having parties at Capsule Corporation is a good idea or not. Cause damn dude, every party that happens there ends up in a tragedy or catastrophic event. Once the Kami-sama temple is prepared, Mr. Popo explains the situation to them. Like that to everyone in a very void way. And it's very funny how Mr. Popo reveals something, and some of those present are left in a plan. By the way, a certain Gesu came, and a certain Neba also came. The thing is, once knowing that Dende was kidnapped by Goma and company, Goku wants to go to the demonic kingdom to rescue him once and for all. Supreme Kaiosama informs him it's forbidden to go there, but not all hope is lost. Shin orders Kibito to bring a ship from the sacred planet, the same one Shin used to arrive in this universe. The problem comes when he realizes he stopped using it for so long that now it's useless. But Cocoon knows that his childhood friend can fix anything, so they can bring Bulma and fix it. By the way, it also shows here that now that the kids are smaller, flying becomes quite complicated for them. Piccolo crashes into a palm tree at the temple so hard that he appears to be bleeding. Damn, 7 words, essence. Bulma arrives and realizes the ship has been hit multiple times after examining it. The narrator explains that the ship was damaged during the battle against Majin Buu, thus giving us a few images of the fight against the latter. Redone. And the animators, let us do the remake Baby Rage, bastards. Then they discuss a bit about whether they should hurry or not because of the danger that the enemies have Dende. But Sheer says there shouldn't be a problem, since if they kidnapped him without killing him, it means they need him alive. After demonstrating Kibito's role as a mere transporter, 2 days pass with Bulma working on the ship, using Kibito to run errands. I don't get why they had to set up a huge workshop in Kami-sama's temple when they could have just transported the ship home. In fact, they mention it while Goku continues training to master flight with his new body. Shin explains that while not everyone who lives in the demon realm has pointed ears, everyone who does have them does come from there. Originally, entry and exit from the demon realm was allowed for everyone, so many inhabitants simply decided to move to other planets. And finally, entry and exit to the realm was prohibited, now requiring a permit. Because who knows, maybe. Life there was crap. And And as everyone was leaving, the Demon King said, "That's it, no more immigrants all here." Something like what Maduro does in Venezuela, only the demons are not as evil as Nicolas Maduro. Goku, not caring about the situation, withdraws and goes to Master Karen's temple to retrieve his sacred staff. The cat informs him that Rochi took the stick, so he pursues Rochi. The old man took his stretching stick, calling him a bad boy. There, the old man regained his youth and is ready to leave the party. I don't think he can do much with that body. But, hey, between being a little kid or an old bearded man falling apart, I don't know which of the two would be a better option. To flirt with girls, if it's with this one, with Mei Mei from Jujutsu Kaisen, I guess it serves him better if he's a child. Ah, right, the sacred staff. The old man was using it to hang clothes, which is quite funny. And, well, that's it. Goku returns with the pals, and it's quite adorable how he arrives with the staff and gives a demonstration of what he's capable of doing with it. Like whoosh and doing flips. Later, Goku asks Piccolo if he remembers the demonic kingdom. But Piccolo responds that he doesn't, as he was born on Earth. But I have heard about it. Who did he hear it from? Why do you want to know? What does it matter to you? The Namekians left the demon realm to escape being controlled, despite living in a pleasant place. But after that little retrospective chat, a new ship appears floating in the temple of Kamisama. And once it lands, a new being appears. None of our protagonists had seen before. This one calls himself Glorio. But you can't fool me, I recognize your voice. Damn king of the chimera ants. Oh, ants chimeras. As I was saying, this strange guy arrives, named Glorio, whom Shin immediately recognizes by his ears as an inhabitant of the Demon Kingdom, which the latter confirms and says he's here for Goku, because he needs him, so that he can go to his world and defeat the evil King Goma, an evil Magan who became king according to Glorio. After Dabura's death, it gives me both excitement and amusement that they use the concept of Dabura's death so much to drive this whole narrative. For those of us who watched the original Dragon Ball Z, Dara was a strong character, but not particularly relevant. I mean, he was given his lore that he was the king of the demon realm. He had a cool design and all. In fact, he was quite important, because he was basically one of the most powerful beings in the entire universe. 7, above Freezer, his father, only really surpassed by the god of destruction and Majin Buu. So is Dora actually the eternal underdog? Like Raditz and Nappa? No, but is he really the eternal underdog? But in reality, he is a character that at his time was supposed to be quite ominous, but at his time he only appeared. He petrified the Pappus, killed Kibito, who was later revived, battled Gohan, and was then consumed by Majin Buu. After that, his existence was forgotten. Except for an anime filler where Laura was ironically sent to paradise as divine punishment. I wish that had been canon. Now they say his existence was incredibly important, which is exciting. I always kind of suspected it to some extent. Plus, as I was saying, the fact that they set this much earlier than Super and before the power scale went to hell, added to the fact that they made the characters younger to weaken them, it really helps to build a sense of real danger that is almost non-existent in Super. Glorio confesses that he's on a secret mission for the king of the third world, Demonic Little Eye. There are several demonic worlds, not just one. It seems that there are up to 3 apparently, so that can be important in the future. And he knows about Goku's existence because he saw his fight against Majin Buu on the monitor through YouTube. Dude like the mamas. Goku agrees to go without problems to kick Goma's ass. Seeing his brother's involvement, Shin also decides to go. But before they leave, Bulma asks Glorio if he can check his ship to see if it helps her to learn and repair the ship faster. Having a quite curious moment in which Glorio tells her it's not a ship. Dude, it's a plane, but if it flies through space, it's a ship. And the other, no, it's not a plane that flies through space. While Bulma inspects the ship, Shin warns Goku to be cautious with the mysterious man. Well, if he saw the fight between Goku and Majin Buu, does that mean he knows that Goku and company are adults? But seeing that they turned into kids, he didn't have any kind of reaction or surprise. Goku suggests to him that the third demonic world's king might have told him about the situation. Something that Shin hopes is the case, so now Glorio, Goku, and Shin will set off in their ship. Vegeta wants to go, but Glorio tells him only 3 people can fit in his plane, leaving Vegeta behind. But I'm child-sized, so I'm sure I can squeeze in. To which Shin tells him, "Shut up, Lozuko. When your wife finishes the other ship, you go on that one. I'll take care of your boyfriend, friend, satanic rival." And that's how Shin left Vegeta behind while taking his Kuchurumen, thus beginning Goku's journey to the demonic kingdom. Showing us an ending that is honestly beautiful and confirms several things for us. Glory is unlikely a traitor, so Tenshinhan can relax. He appears frequently in the ending as Cocoon's friend and companion. Unless he's the final villain, it's unclear. Additionally, there's a young girl present who appears to be related to Glory. I don't want to imagine what the internet will do with her. Third, Vegeta appears in the ending, which means he will participate, but maybe a little later. I think it's a kind of nerfing that the plot is going to do. Separating Goku and Vegeta as well, maybe so that between the two of them, I don't know, they rush the plot. You know, we already know them. For a moment, I thought Goku would solve all problems, including those of the demonic realm. Meanwhile, the ship was still under construction. Vegeta was going to arrive to check on its progress and be overshadowed. But apparently it does seem that there will be camaraderie among the rivals. Tsunderes. This balls thing? Well, another week. Another chapter of Daima, which wasn't bad at all. I understand that perhaps there will be people who do not like this, as they are probably more accustomed to the style of Zat. But I think we should all give this project a chance, especially considering that it is Toriyama's last work. And damn, the truth is that this work resembles many others by Toriyama, like Sandland could be, or the original Dragon Ball itself. The truth is, I think the Z obsessives should chill out a bit. In short, the series is on a great trajectory. If what it's looking for is to build a plot much more focused on adventure, and not so much on battles with demigods and stuff like that. That said, we'll have to see how this series progresses weekly and if the adventure and the demonic kingdom it presents are up to par. Before I go, I believe I've discovered the reason my PlayStation 5 exploded last week. So I guess if I put my Sparking Zero disc in now, nothing should happen.